可以找什么样的空间啊？那Supercon 院长呢？其实在泰国非常有文化地位啊。那他的文化地位是什么呢？他目前是现任总理的文化政策的顾问啊，很多政策他参与在里面啊。那我们同时也可以蛮有趣的，就是说比较那个这两种到底有什么不同。那我们就 welcome Dr. Supercon.
Hello again, and thank you very much for the committee who brought me here. So thank you and good afternoon, everyone. So I wish my topics is not so boring because we have two great papers this morning and this afternoon talking about the holistic way, on bipolar of the creative industries, on the holistics on Singapore, cultural policies, and the other polars was emphasized on the Korean cultural industry, which give us or give me, different opinions or give me more information on Korean creative industries. So in Thailand, okay, we are right in the middle. We not go that far as the Singaporeans or the Australians or the Korean, but we are in the middle. So I wish you not bore with my presentations, okay? So let me say something before I go to my slides. Let me talk about history a little bit about Thai culture. I say Thai culture is very new. I have a Chinese friend that, okay, he doesn't talk about cultures that go below or less than 1,000 years. So Thailand history was 700 years. So in my country categories, it's not fit with his cultural themes there, okay? But I would say that, so in 700 years, we have the histories as well, okay? But most of our history and our cultures tied with the monarchy system, okay, with 700 years. Until 1800, okay, around 100 years ago, okay, our countries do accept foreign cultural policies and adopt it into our own cultural policies. Just only 100 years, we develop, okay, cultural policy and cultural industries at the same time as Japan developed their countries. But now look what you have, or Japan have, Taiwan has. You have bullet trains. We still use the same train that we established 100 years ago. Good, right? So we preserve our cultural heritage real well, okay? But it's not indicated something, okay? Let's say, I would say Thailand cultural policies or cultural industry would ignite, okay, clearly during the post-war era, okay, during the after World War II or Korean War, and it excelled during the Vietnam War eras when we have American base in our countries. That's why we do accept Americanized cultures in our society. The same thing we do accept other countries as well. But most of the cultures that we do accept, as my concern, was American cultures, okay? Which sometimes is good, sometimes is bad. And that time we have a lot of people who were sent overseas to America to study. So we have a lot of American ideas of capitalism, democracy, and other things that, cannot go anywhere, especially democracy that we go into the big pool, cannot get out. And then, right after year of 2000, where we have this formal prime minister called Thaksin Shinawatra, he kind of introduced creative industries in our society. That probably started in maybe 2003, 2004. Okay, that why popular cultures, okay, especially on policies and policy mapping, were created by Thaksin regime, which is good. Sometimes it's bad as well. Can I go back to the definitions here, which I want to emphasize a little bit on Thai cultural policies, which I would say we are in the borders, okay, of other civilizations. On the east we have Khmer, Buddhists have Angkor Thom, Angkor Wat. And other Western side we do accept Buddhist religions from India, okay? Through Sultans to Indonesia, come through the north as the Buddhism countries. But look at this way, what do we do now? Okay, we claim we're Buddhist countries. However, the way we do for the creative industries and cultural industry is much different, quite controversial. Let's look at definition here, cultural industry. It's a cultural industry which combines the creations. I emphasize on certain things that my countries and my field of study, because my background is in design field, architectures and design, with computer graphics, with CI technologies, okay? Our Professor Lee will say about development of the models, the development of digital contents and MIT. I was on the team to develop CD, okay, moving images, but they go mainly for science and engineering of the architectural models. So here in Thailand, we emphasize craft and design, productions and commercialization of creative content which are intangible and cultural in nature. The content are typically protected by copyright and then can take the form of goods or service. From that definitions about intangible, okay, and cultural in nature here, you could see that it's very broad term to understand why I use the intangibles. Very abstract, too broad. Idea, intellectual property, isn't it? And then what do we have? We're not industrialized like Korea, Japan, or even Taiwan. I would say that we are around 10 to 15 years behind Taiwan. We do accept a lot of transfer technology to Taiwan, to Thailand, and from Taiwan to Thailand, quite often. The only things that we could identify in ourselves now is have good human resources and have a good services mind, okay? So that is one of our strategy to work in the creative industry and creative economies. According to Professor Audrey that indicated this morning about UNESCO, UNESCO focused cultural industry on creating and exploiting intellectual property products. I would say such as music, books, films, games, okay, technologies, and provide business to business creative services such as advertising, which is the main thing, okay, in both Korea and Thai creative industries, and become the main force to use that one as the rocket, okay, to pave the way for creative industries in our countries. Public relations, direct marketing, aesthetics, live performance, design, work of art, maybe fine art, or some of them jewelry, all to clothes, textiles, poetry, okay? Now we do need that one very much, and creative writing, because we need to tell the story, okay? How to make the movie, how to keep our national identity, how to promote our identity. So we do need those fields in our creative industry. Fine arts as well, sometimes tourism, which is the main part of Thai creative economies, because everything's under what I say, go under the tourism industry. Tourism industry in Thailand is the main incomes of our countries, around 600,000 billion baht of income. It's about the same equal amount of Taiwan dollar. Okay, so it's the main industries. It generates our 60% of our main incomes. So you could see that we're not industrial countries. We service mind, only service mind. So we identify that we cannot compete, okay, with the other industrial countries. We cannot create cars, we cannot create computers, So some of our field in science, try to do that, try to catch up with all those policies. But main thing, the government admitted that